So good morning dear students, Prakhar, Sadvika, Tanvi, Mayur, Mansi, Vagasri, Suhani, Arya, Aditya, Kalyani, Nidhi. Nidhi, what happened after so many days? You were absent for a few days. What was the reason? Ria Ekare, good morning. Prakhar, can you please text me whether I am audible clearly so that I can straightway begin my lesson today? Shraddha Patel, what's wrong with you? You're not coming on live classes. I've got to inform your parents. Gauri, good morning. Alma, good morning. Okay, Prakhar, so I'm audible, okay, right. Okay, let me begin my lesson then today, dear students. See here, we have come to know that Albert is finding difficulty in continuing his studies in his school because his teachers are not cooperating with him in the sense that, you know, whenever Albert Einstein is asking any question, any critical question, any sort of an HOTS question, his teachers are not responding to him, and you know, they want him to learn by facts. And according to Einstein, learning by facts is not education all about. Education is all about learning the concept, okay? Learning the concept. Education is all about knowing the facts in intimate details. It's not about just learning things by heart, because learning things by heart does not make us insightful, does not make us understand the concept properly, and as a result what happens, we develop shaky concept in whatever we study. Therefore Einstein is not in favor of such a school system of education which encourages rote learning to students, okay, or learning things by heart. So Einstein was a different kind of a student. He always wanted to know why and hows of everything. Understood? He wanted to always know whys and hows of everything. He was not at all in favor of learning things by heart. Therefore, the problem started with Einstein, and that has also troubled his teachers, because his teachers are also not in a position to answer him always. Therefore, they are finding ways to get rid of Albert Einstein. Okay, therefore Albert Einstein was not happy in the school, and also where he was staying in his lodging, he was also not happy, because his landlady appeared to be a very quarrelsome, and she is not cooperative. Whenever he used to play violin in his off time, because besides studies he loved music very much, so he used to play violin. His landlady used to complain to him not to play violin, okay. Therefore, and of course she indulged in sort of quarrel with her children and all that, husband and all that. Therefore, the place where Einstein used to reside on a rent basis was also not very much a welcome place for him, was not a congenial place for him, was not a healthy place for him. Therefore, Einstein was not happy at all. Of course, more than the place where he was living, he was more dissatisfied with his school, because his teacher insulted him, and his teacher was, especially the history teacher, we'll come to know about other teachers now. We've so far come to know about his history teacher, okay. So let's find out what Einstein does, okay, and what sort of decision is taken by the history teacher in collaboration with other teachers, and when the matter goes to the headmaster of the school, what kind of decision he comes up with is something that we'll learn today. So let's begin. Okay, Aditya, good morning. Utkarsh, Balchandra, good morning. Dear students, please, Chaitanya, good morning. Dear students, all of you, please be regular, okay, on a regular basis. Be regular online, okay, because otherwise it's difficult to cope up with the syllabus. And I've started this lesson day before yesterday. I'm continuing with the lesson. Please stay connected, okay? So, Elsa side, you are okay. Now Einstein, yesterday we found that Einstein was planning to leave his school. So what is the way to leave his school? Because if he wants to leave, just leave and go to his home, in that case his father will again send him back, because his father wants him to be educated. And as Albert Einstein's family was not financially very strong, okay, was a poor family, therefore Einstein had to live in a very dirty place, in a kind of a place with the poor people, okay. Therefore, but he did not mind that, of course the condition was not good, landlady was not a good person, but in spite of that he could somehow manage to live there had his school supported him. But his school also did not support him. As a result, he became increasingly more and more disappointed, okay, with the school system of education. Therefore, he is trying to get rid of his school. So how to get rid of his school? Simply, if he stops going, his father will again send him back. So he has to find some ways by which he can leave the school. So he is discussing, like he's in the previous few paragraphs you can see here it is a discussion between Einstein and his sister Elsa, okay. So let me just read out so that you understand. He told his cousin Elsa the same next time she came to Munich. Normally she lived in Berlin, where her father had a business. I am sure you could learn enough to pass the exams. Okay, so a conversation was going on between Elsa and Einstein regarding passing the exam. So Albert Einstein said, it's not possible for me to pass the exams, okay, because the system of education is such that you have to mark up the things, you have to learn things by heart, and you have to go for rote learning and then write answers in the examination, which is not possible for me because I am not interested in rote learning. I cannot learn things by heart, okay, therefore I think I shall fail. Then his sister says, I am sure you could learn enough to pass the exam. You too can learn by heart. What's wrong in passing the exam by learning by heart? I know lots of boys who are much more stupid than you are, who get through. They say you don't have to know anything. You don't have to understand what you are taught. Just be able to repeat it in exams. See, this is what is the impression of Elsa. This is how. This is what is the system of education prevailing at that time. When Albert Einstein was a student. You see here, you don't have to understand anything. You just learn by heart facts. Then it will, support your education. Your education can be supported just by mugging things up. Okay, so this is from the statement of Elsa we can come to know about it. See, they say you don't have to know anything. You don't have to know the concept. You don't have to understand also. Okay, just be able to repeat it in exams. Whatever you are given, just repeat it in exams. Learn it by heart without understanding, and this is the key to passing the examination. This is what Elsa is telling her brother. That's the whole trouble, Albert says. I am not good at learning things by heart. Albert says, I am not good at learning things by heart. And this is the problem actually, okay. As I am not good at learning things by heart, and the questions are set in such a manner in the question that it requires learning things by heart, therefore I shall fail. Then his sister says, you don't need to be good at it. Anyone can learn like a parrot. You just don't try. You just don't try. That is why you are not learning. And yet I always see you with a book under your arm, added Elsa. What is the one you are reading? Then he said, I am reading a book on geology. Geology, rocks and things. Do you learn that? No, we have hardly any science at school. We hardly have any science subjects at school. So I am not learning at school, but I read it at home. Then why are you studying it? When geology is not in your syllabus, then why are you studying it? This is what his sister Elsa says. Elsa asks, because I like it. Isn't that a good enough reason? I like it. I like reading about rocks and stuff like that. Therefore, I'm reading. Then Elsa became unhappy. Elsa sighed. You are right, of course, Albert, she said, but it won't help with your diploma. You are right, Albert, because you like science, so you are reading it, but it will not help you to pass out with your diploma. Then, apart from books and science, his only comfort was music, and he played his violin regularly until his landlady asked him to stop. That wailing gets on my nerve, she said. There is enough noise in this house with all the kids howling. This is the statement of his landlady, therefore he could not play violin also regularly. Albert was tempted to point out that most of the time it was she who made them howl, but he decided it was better to say nothing because he was living in her house, landlady's house, therefore he did not say anything which will make her angry. I must get away from here, he told Yuri, after 6 months alone in Munich. It's absurd that I should go on like this. In the end, it will turn out I have been wasting my father's money and everyone's time. Okay, so he is discussing with his sister Elsa, saying that it's been almost 6 months. Okay. Okay, now see, it is not Elsa, it is Yuri, it seems. Now after his discussion with Elsa, he is now talking with his friend actually, okay, with his friend Yuri, okay. So I must get away from here, he told Yuri, after 6 months alone in Munich. And then he's saying, it's absurd that I am not learning anything and I am wasting my father's money, okay, and everyone's time also. It will be better for all if I stop now, okay. I don't want to waste my father's money because in the school I am not able to learn anything, so it's a waste of my money. So it's better I wrap up my things and I go from here. I wrap up my things and I go from here. Just a minute, let me make it small so that you are able to see. Okay, and then what will you do? Yuri asked, what will you do after leaving the school? I don't know. If I go to Milan, I'm afraid my father will send me back. Unless his eyes gleamed with a sudden idea. Yuri, do you know any friendly doctors? I know a lot of medical students and some of them are friendly, said Yuri. So now Albert Einstein is asking his friend Yuri, okay, do you know any medical doctor? He said, yes, I know some of them, okay. Some of them. Doctor, no, I have never had enough money to go to one, okay. He said, I know a lot of medical students and some of them are friendly. Medical students I know, but I do not know a professional doctor because I don't go to them, I don't have enough money to consult. Suppose Albert then came up with a suggestion. Suppose that I had a nervous breakdown. Suppose a doctor would say it's bad for me to go to school and I need to get right away from it. So Albert has come up with a very beautiful planning actually, okay, which he is sharing with his friend Yuri here. What kind of plan he has come up with? He is thinking to get a medical certificate issued from a doctor, so that he can take leave from the school for a while. So the doctor will write down in the certificate that Albert has nervous breakdown, so he needs to take some rest for a while. Then he can be relieved from the school, and for this reason he can also go home. His father cannot again send him back. So this is the planning that he is discussing with his friend Yuri. Okay, I can't imagine a doctor saying that, said Yuri. I must try, said Albert. Yuri said, I don't think a doctor will give you, simply because you are saying, or simply because, doctors may not give because you are not having such symptoms. So doctor may not give you. This is what Yuri is saying. So, but he said, I must try to find a doctor who specializes in nerves. There are plenty of them, he says, there are plenty of them, Yuri told him. He hesitated for a moment and then added rather reluctantly, I will ask some of the students if they know one, if you like. Okay, then Yuri thought for a while and then he said, I shall ask some of the medical students, okay. I will ask some of the medical students if they know any doctor. For your sake, I shall ask the medical students. So if they know, they will refer to one of the doctors, then we can go there. Will you? Oh, thank you, Yuri. Albert eyes were shining. Wait a moment, I have not found one yet. Okay, don't thank me yet because I haven't found any doctor yet. Let me inquire from medical students, and if I happen to find, I will certainly help you. This is what Yuri says. Oh, but you will. Yes. And if I do not know if he will be willing to help you. Yuri further says, if I even come to know about any doctor, but in spite of that, I am not sure whether he will come up to help you in this matter. He will, declared Albert. Albert says, no, he will help me. I am going to have a real nervous breakdown to make it easier for him. He laughed merrily, okay? And then Albert made it more humorous, made a funny statement saying that in the meantime, by the time you find out a doctor, I shall in reality have a nervous breakdown, so that it's easier for doctor to recommend me and for treatment and also issue a certificate for me. I have never seen you looking less nervous, remarked Yuri. Okay, I have never seen you being nervous. Okay. A day or two at school will soon put that right, Albert assured him. He said, a day or two in the school, if I continue my school for a day or two, certainly I shall have nervous breakdown. Okay, this is what Albert Einstein said to his friend. Certainly he had lost his high spirits when Yuri saw him next. Certainly he had lost his high spirits when Yuri saw him next. After a few days, again Yuri came to meet Einstein. When Yuri was surprised to see that Albert had lost his high spirits. He was looking very, very nervous actually. Okay, I can't stand it any longer, he said. Einstein said, I cannot stand it any longer. The school has become too much burden for me. I really shall have a nervous breakdown that will satisfy any doctor. Okay, things are getting increasingly worse and worse in the school. Therefore, I cannot, I cannot stand it any longer. I shall have a real nervous breakdown, shortly. Okay, and then it will be no problem for a doctor. It will not be a problem for a doctor to issue me a medical certificate. Okay, keep it up, then said Yuri. I have found a doctor for you. He said, I have found a doctor for you. You have? Albert's face lit up. Oh, good. When can I see him? Then he said, I have an appointment for you for tomorrow evening. Yuri said, here is the address. He handed Albert a piece of paper. Dr. Ernest, well, is he a specialist in nervous troubles? Asked Albert. Then Yuri said, not exactly, Yuri admitted. As a matter of fact, he only qualified as a doctor last week. You may even be his first patient. You knew him as a student then? I had known Ernest for years. Yuri hesitated for a few moments. He is not a fool, he warned Albert. What do you mean? Don't try to pull the wool over his eyes. Pull the wool means don't try to cheat him, okay? That's all. Be frank with him, but I don't pretend you have got what you haven't, okay? But Yuri said, the doctor that I've arranged for you is known to me for many days. But he is not a fool. Don't try to say that you have a nervous breakdown, otherwise he will catch you. Okay, he will be able to find out that you are not suffering from nervous breakdown. Therefore, be frank with him. Discuss with him why you require the medical certificate, and then he might be able to give you. But if you lie to him, he is not a fool. You will understand that you are not having any mental breakdown. This is what Yuri suggests to Einstein. Okay, not that you deceive anyone. You read it. You are the world's worst liar. You are the world's worst liar. Yuri became angry angry with Einstein and said, you are the world's worst liar because you have no nervous background, but still you are pretending as if you are having nervous breakdown. So you are the world's worst liar. Albert spent the next day wondering what to tell the doctor. When the time arrived for his appointment, he had worried over it so much that he really was quite nervous. When the time arrived for his appointment, he had worried over it so much that he really was quite nervous. Yes, because what will doctor ask him and what he will reply, such thoughts kept coming in his mind. As a result, he appeared to be very much nervous in front of the doctor. Let's find out what happens in doctor's chamber. I don't really know how to describe my trouble, doctor. Well, he began. Don't try, said the young doctor with a friendly smile. Yuri has already given me a history of the case. Okay, so Yuri has already told doctor everything of what Albert was suffering from in advance. Therefore, Dr. Weil knows everything about the problem of Albert Einstein. Understood? Therefore, the things will be very easy for Albert Einstein now. Okay, he does not have any reason to feel anxious about or nervous about. Okay, oh, what did he say? Only that you want me to think you have had a nervous breakdown and say that you mustn't go back to school. Oh dear, Albert face fell. He shouldn't have told you that. Why not? Isn't it true then? Yes, that's the trouble. Now you will say there's nothing wrong with me and you will tell me to go back to school. Don't be too sure of that, said the doctor. As a matter of fact, I am pretty sure you are in a nervous state about that school. Now, but I haven't told you anything about that, said Albert, wide-eyed. How can you know that? Because you wouldn't have come to see me about this if you hadn't been pretty close to a nervous breakdown. That's why. Okay, so the doctor said you wouldn't have come to see me about your condition had you not suffered from near nervous breakdown, because you are very much anxious, very much nervous about going to school. That is the reason as to why you came to me. Okay, so I have come to know from your symptom as well as from what your friend has described to me. Okay, said the doctor briskly, if I certify you have had a nervous breakdown and must stay away from school for a while, what will you do? Then Dr. Weil said, if I certify that you had a nervous breakdown and must stay away from school, in that case what will you do? I will go to Italy, said Albert, to Milan where my parents are. So if you are kind enough to issue me a medical certificate, wherein you mention that I am having a nervous breakdown, I should be very happy. I can go to Italy, in Milan where my parents are living. And what will you do there? Doctor is asking. I will try to get into an Italian college or institute. How can you without a diploma? Without a diploma, how can you take admission in a college or an institute? You require a diploma for, like you require class 10 pass certificate to be able to study in a college. Likewise, in a college or an institute, Einstein needed a diploma. Okay. But he has left it altogether. Okay, let's see. I will ask my mathematics teacher to give me something about my work, and perhaps that will be enough. I have learned all the maths they teach at school and a bit more, he added when Dr. Weil looked doubtful. Then when Dr. Weil asked him, how can you manage to take admission in the school or institute because you don't have a diploma? Albert, in his defense, replied that I shall meet my mathematics teacher, who will give me some certificates about my work, and hopefully this will work in taking admission in a school, in a college, or in an institute. Okay. Well, it's up to you, he said. I doubt if it will come off, but I can see you are not doing yourself or anyone else much good by staying here. How long would you like me to say you would stay away from school? Would 6 months be all right? So Dr. Weil said, shall I write on the certificate on the page, or shall I write in the certificate that you need 6 months rest from school? Then he said, this is very kind of you. 6 months is enough. Please mention 6 months. It's nothing. I have only just stopped being a student myself, so I know how you feel. here you are. Dr. Well handed him the certificate and the best of luck. So Dr. Well handed him a certificate of a nervous breakdown so that he can produce it in his school and take leave from school for 6 months. So Einstein became very happy, and while giving this certificate to Einstein, Dr. Well said, I was a student myself recently, okay, so I know what it means to get hurt in the school or college or wherever, okay. He has immediately made a certificate for Einstein, and he has also wished him best of luck for his future studies. How much? He's asking money. How much shall I pay you? Nothing. If you have anything to spare, invite Yuri to a meal. He's a good friend of mine and yours too, I think. Okay. Then the doctor said, you don't have to pay me anything. If you have anything to spare, if you want to spare some money, then you can do one thing. You can invite Yuri to dine with you, to a meal with you, because he is a very good friend of mine, and I hope he is a good friend of you as well. Albert had no money to spare, but he pretended he had and took Yuri out to supper. Isn't it wonderful, he said after showing Yuri the certificate. Okay, now Einstein felt absolutely happy on receiving the certificate from Dr. Well, and he is showing his happiness by asking his friend Yuri, isn't it wonderful? Yes, it is fine, Yuri agreed. So, Ashutosh, what happens? You people are not regular in attending the online class. How will you manage to pass out? We are going to start the monthly evaluation from this month onwards. How are you going to write there if you are not present on a regular basis? Because on the basis of what I am teaching you, I shall ask you questions in the examinations. Okay? Don't think that you shall get the answers, ready-made questions, ready-made answers of the questions that you are writing from website in the examination altogether. Okay, there will be some questions which will be based on your understanding, which will be based on the high order thinking skill, which will be based on values. So how can you write answers to that if you do not attend the lecture? Okay, so all of you, those who are very irregular in coming to online streaming classes on time or regularly, please be alarmed. Okay, please be alarmed and come regularly on live streaming classes, because it's high time. Okay, it's now or never. Otherwise you will lose out marks on the assessment test, and assessment marks will be also shared with your parents with the help of the Zoom parent teachers meeting, which also we are planning to conduct every month. Therefore, dear students, please be up to date with your lesson notes, and please attend the online live streaming classes on a regular basis. Okay, Ashutosh, am I audible properly? Can you hear me properly? Please write with the text so that you just write yes if you are able to hear me clearly. Just write yes. I am waiting for your reply, Ashutosh. Or can anyone text me quickly if I am properly audible to you? Okay, thank you, Tanvi. Ashutosh, Prakhar, thank you. Ashutosh might have gone away. Ashutosh for sure has gone away from the mobile, or might be he is fiddling with his mobile on some other websites or some other apps. Thank you so much, Mansi, Aditya, Shraddha, Satvika, Mayur, Thank you so very much, dear students, for staying connected. It's very important, dear students, to stay connected, because some students like Ashutosh, what they do is like they log on to the channel, show their presence, and then they go off. Okay, this is nothing short of cheating, dear students. Okay, don't cheat with yourself, because you cannot afford to destroy your career. You cannot afford to cheat yourself. Okay, at least in studies. Okay, don't ever cheat yourself in studies. Okay, otherwise you will destroy your own career. Okay, dear students, whatever teachers speak, whatever teachers say, just listen to it and just oblige them. Okay, by submitting your homework, classwork, everything on time, so that you remain updated with your syllabus and with your knowledge at the same time. Okay, so dear students, you can also write your queries to me through the chat box available on my website. Okay, I am checking on an everyday basis. Okay, some of you are of course writing, some of you are not, but I request all of you, if you have any question which you don't know, or if you have any query regarding any of the concept of English syllabus, of any lesson, you please contact me through the chat option available on my website, so that I am able to answer you on the same day. And if I take time, hardly I'll take 24 hours. Within 24 hours, I'll definitely answer to your queries. So if you have any query regarding any of the content of English code, regarding anything of the syllabus, you can please text me on my website over the chat application. Okay, so that I can resolve all your queries. Okay, thank you, dear students. Let me continue. Isn't it wonderful? He said after showing Yuri the certificate. Yes, it is fine, Yuri agreed. 6 months is a good period. Okay, Yuri also said 6 months is a great period, good period. This way you won't actually be leaving the school. So if the worst comes to the worst, you will be able to come back and carry on for your diploma. Okay, so this will have a double benefit. This is what Yuri is saying. Number one, you can be temporarily away from school. Okay, and you can make progress by studying at home. Number one. Number two, you can also come back. Okay, if you take 6 months leave, it means you are not leaving the school altogether. You have the option of coming back to school and writing your diploma exam. I will never go back to that place, Albert assured him. I am going to take this certificate to the head teacher tomorrow, and that will be the end of it. Don't forget to get a reference in writing from your mathematics teacher first, Yuri reminded him. Yuri, when Einstein said, I will first go to the headmaster with this certificate tomorrow, and that's all. Then Yuri said, but before that you take the certificate from your mathematics teacher. Don't forget to get a reference in writing from your mathematics teacher. Okay, Mr. Koch willingly gave Albert the reference he wanted. Okay, so Mr. Mathematics teacher is very much happy with Einstein. He has a lot of respect for Einstein. He loves Einstein. Therefore, he has given a reference to Einstein whatever he required. Okay, for his transfer. So he immediately obliged to his request, because a maths teacher used to have high opinion about Einstein. If I say I can't teach you anymore, and probably you will soon be able to teach me, will that be all right? He asked. Okay, the maths teacher asked. He actually asked, you are so good at mathematics that you shall be in a position to teach me. Okay, so he is just asking Albert, so is it okay if I write something of this sort? That's saying too much, sir, Albert said. It is only the truth, but all right, I'll put it more seriously. Albert felt shy, and he said, it's no, that's too much, sir, you don't write like this. Then the maths teacher said, it's only the truth, it's only the truth. Can you imagine? The maths teacher is saying it's only the truth. It means maths teacher knows that Albert Einstein is in a position to even teach him. That is why he's saying it's only the truth. But all right, I'll put it more seriously. It was still a growing reference, and Mr. Koch made the point that Albert was ready immediately to enter a college or institute for the study of higher mathematics. Okay, so Mr. Koch has given a very good reference in writing that Albert was ready to enter a college or any institute for higher mathematics study. Okay, for the study of higher mathematics, he is so very much advanced in his mathematics that he is ready to take up any higher course in a college or an institute. This is what he has written. I am sorry you are leaving us, although you are wasting your time in my class, he said. And math teacher said, I am sorry that you are leaving, but on the other hand, you are wasting your time in attending my class because you already know what I am teaching you. It's almost the only class where I am not wasting my time, said Albert. Albert said, sir, it is the only class where I am not wasting my time. But how did you know I am leaving, sir? But how did you know I am leaving? Then his math teacher said, you wouldn't have asked me for this reference otherwise. I thought you would wonder. So his math teacher said, otherwise he would not have asked for the reference from me. That is how I came to know that you are leaving us. I thought you would wonder. Einstein said, I thought otherwise. There is nothing to wonder about, Einstein. I know you were going to leave before you knew yourself. I knew you were going to leave before you knew yourself. Okay, before you took the decision of leaving, Einstein, I knew that you are going to leave the school one day or the other. So I was having the knowledge that you would not be with us for a long time. Albert was puzzled. What did the teacher mean? He soon found out. Before he had a chance to ask for an interview with the head teacher, he was summoned to the head's room. Okay, so Albert was very much puzzled when his math teacher said, I knew you were going to leave before you knew yourself. Okay, so Albert was puzzled. How did math teacher come to know about this? Is there anything negative about me, or is or whether teachers have complained about me to the head teacher for which I have got to leave the school? So he became a bit puzzled. What could be the reason? Okay, then before Einstein went to meet his head teacher, he was summoned to the head teacher's room. Okay, let's find out what happens there. Well, it saves me the trouble of having to wait an hour or two outside, he thought. It saves me the trouble of having to wait an hour or 2 minutes, he thought. He said, okay, it's good that I was called by the head teacher, otherwise I've got to wait for an hour or two. Okay, so in the process I'll be saving some time. He hardly bothered to wonder why he had been sent for, but vaguely supposed he was to be punished again for bad work and laziness. Well, he had finished with punishments. He said, okay, no matter for what he calls me, because I'm interested to leave the school now. I am not going to punish you, head teacher said, to Albert's surprise. Your work is terrible, and I am not prepared to have you here any longer, Einstein. It seems the history teacher has already complained to the head teacher, okay, about Einstein's arrogance, not arrogance exactly, about Einstein's argument with him. That is why head teacher has also decided to send him off, okay, saying your work is terrible and I am not prepared to have you in our school any longer. I want you to leave the school now. See the rudeness in his speech. Leave school now? Repeated Albert, dazed. He was absolutely astounded, very much surprised. Okay, that is what I said. That is what I said. You mean, said Albert, that I am to be expelled? Do you mean to say that you shall expel me? You can take it that way if you wish, Einstein. The head teacher was not mincing words. The simplest thing will be for you to go of your own accord, and then the question won't arise. If you leave the school on your own accord, if you leave the school without any reminder, then it will be good for you. I don't have to expel you from the school. So I recommend you to leave the school so that I don't have to expel you. But, said Albert, what crime have I committed? What kind of crime have I committed? Your presence in the classroom makes it impossible for the teacher to teach and for the other pupils to learn. You refuse to learn, and you are in constant rebellion, and no serious work can be done while you are there. So the head teacher is kind of saying something negative about Albert Einstein at this moment, saying, your presence in the classroom makes it impossible for the teacher to teach, and you do not allow other peoples to be taught also. You refuse to learn. You always argue with the teacher. You are in constant rebellion, and no serious work can be done while you are there. Albert felt the medical certificate almost burning a hole in his pocket. Okay. So dear students, now Albert has already come prepared in the school to hand the medical certificate over to the head teacher, but unfortunately the head teacher has already taken the decision to oust Einstein from the school. Therefore the situation has become a bit critical. But anyway, Albert headmaster has also come up with a proposal that Einstein should leave the school on his own accord. Therefore it won't be a problem for Einstein. So Einstein will now go on to show the certificate to him. Okay, so you see, he's saying okay, I was going to leave anyway, he said. Then we are in agreement at least, Einstein, the head said. For a moment Albert was tempted to tell the man what he thought of him and of his school. Then he stopped himself without another word. Holding his head high, he stopped out. Shut the door after me, shouted the head. Head shouted, shut the door after me. Albert ignored him. Because Albert Einstein never expected such a rude behavior from the head teacher. Therefore, Albert, while leaving the chamber of the head teacher, did not oblige the head teacher when he said, shut the door after you. He did not shut because he was so shocked at the unexpected rude behavior of the head teacher. He walked straight on out of the school where he had spent 5 miserable years without turning his head to give it a last look. He could not think of anyone he wanted to say goodbye to. Indeed, Yuri was almost the only person in Munich he felt like seeing before he left the town he had come to hate almost as much as the school. So it was only Yuri whom Einstein or Albert wanted to see before leaving Munich. He did not have any attachment for the place Munich. He did not have any attachment for anyone except his friend Yuri. So he decided to see him once before he left Munich altogether. Okay. Elsa was back in Berlin and he had no other real friends there except Yuri. Goodbye and good luck, said Yuri when he left. So Einstein met Yuri before leaving Munich, and what did Yuri said? Goodbye and good luck. You are going to a wonderful country. I hope you will be happier there. Okay, you are going to a wonderful country and hopefully you shall be happy there. Okay, understood, dear students? So now Einstein will be able to stay with his parents for a few days at least. Okay, he's going back to he wanted to learn the concept properly so that he can apply the concept in working out or in solving the real life problem. Okay, he was not at all in favor of learning things by heart. Okay, he never learned facts by heart. Okay, he always went for the whys and hows of everything. That is why the prevailing school system of rote learning did not encourage him. Okay, did not motivate him to learn further. Understood? So we shall what we have learned from this lesson, dear students, we have learned the fact that it is the school system of education that carves the individual talent from flourishing. Okay, like in the case of Einstein, we have seen that in spite of the fact that he was a genius, his teachers did not support him. Only his mathematics teacher admitted that Einstein was in a position to teach him mathematics. Okay, other than mathematics teacher, nobody supported him. Okay, because according to him, according to them, Einstein was a great nuisance and an object of, object and a person who disturbs the class. Okay, and prevents other children from learning in the class. Okay, such sort of stereotype schools of education where the rote learning or learning by facts is learning the facts is encouraged is somewhere where Einstein did not fit at all. Okay, so what should be our system of education? Our system of education should have plenty of scope for self-learning, plenty of scope for experimental learning or experiential learning. Okay, where the concept that is taught in physics and chemistry and mathematics should be translated into a workable models, workable projects where you can be able to sort of sort out the everyday problem coming out of everyday problem that keeps coming on a regular basis. So with your concept of light and electricity in physics, you should be able to fix any problem of electricity in your house. Okay, so only then your learning of the electricity or light in physics will be of some use to you. Einstein was very much confident about that. Okay, he also believed in experiential sort of learning. Okay, a concept formation, and then out of the concept experimentation should be done on a regular basis. This is what is the real education all about. Real education is not about going to the physics lab or chemistry lab or mathematics lab just for the heck of getting 25 marks, okay, in the practical. No, it should be on a regular basis. It should be 3 days in a week, okay, at least 2 days in a week, so that you translate all your classroom concept of physics, chemistry and mathematics into a practical model or an experiment in the lab. This sort of education encourages insightful learning. This sort of education will empower you to be well equipped to meet the future challenges of life. Okay, so dear students, we have come to know about what sort of system we should be having. Okay, what sort of education should be encouraged in school, okay, from this lesson. Dear students, thank you so much. Tanvi, there's a query from your end. When will we be given the syllabus for the exam? Okay, so Tanvi, syllabus, I can give you, I'll send you the link, or I can, not in the live class, I shall give you a link of the syllabus. Let me first make it, dear students, and then I shall send you on the WhatsApp group. Okay, very shortly I shall send you the link of the syllabus. Okay, thank you Mansi, Alma, Sadvika, Tanvi, Mayur, all the students who are present. Thank you, all of you. Ashutosh, please stay connected till the end. Gauri, thank you so much for staying connected. Dear students, so till we meet in the next class at 11:50 sharp. Take care, bye bye, and please do update your lesson notes. And also, dear students, last thing I wanted to tell you, like I have create a folder creation on my website enabled for you. So you please go to homework submission folder. Yeah, go to class 11 and make a folder in your name on my website. Please do make, like Gauri will make a folder in her name, Gauri. Suhani will make a name in her folder, Suhani. Okay, and inside that folder, you please upload the PDF file of lesson notes completion, and whatever task I will give you, please do upload there inside your name folder, inside classroom submission folder of my website. Thank you so much, dear students. Bye bye, take care, and have a nice day.